Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is a special request tutorial. This animation was requested by Lee Ong. This was the Lee's reference video. I will try to make this animation and my animation will be little different, not 100% the same. Thanks bro, I really like this concept and thank you so much for your support. So I'll teach you how to create this logo animation step by step from the scratch in the After Effects. So make sure watch till the end. Also, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. So let's start the tutorial. So this is my logo. We have to make the separate composition for the each logo. But before that, select the each logo and right click create and create shape from text. We have to make the each letter into the shape. Now create a composition for the each letter. So create a composition and name it letter E and size 1080 by 1080 and duration 50 seconds and hit OK. And select this outline, Ctrl C to copy and here Ctrl V to paste. Press S and increase the size. So I'm going to make this 500 and center line. Same, create a composition of the letter O. Select this O letter and paste it here and size 500. Center align. And copy your each letter in the individual compositions. You can hide all of this text layer. So now let's start the animating with the first layer and change the first letter color to yellow to make this more prominent and disable the fill, enable the stroke white and stroke with size 1 pixel. Now we have to create the anchor points on the each joint. So I'm going to select this rectangle and disable the stroke, enable the fill white and create the small box and move the anchor point in the center of this box. Name it anchor. Now duplicate, Ctrl to duplicate. Let's move this one here and Ctrl to duplicate. I'm going to lock this layer for now. You have to create the anchor box on the each joints. Now we will create the handles. So I'm going to select this pen tool. Now draw a line and disable the fill, enable the stroke and move the outline closer to the anchor box and stroke with 2 pixels. Select the ellipse tool and select this handle line again and draw the handle top part. So this is my handle. So select the pen behind tool and move this anchor point to the end of this line here. Okay. And let's name it handle and let's change the color of this. So I'm going to make this red. Ctrl to duplicate, press R and rotate it 180 degree. Lock all of this anchor box and select these handles and Ctrl to duplicate and move it in the anchor box. And duplicate it multiple times and move the all handle to the anchor boxes. You have to create the handle for the each joints. Now let's start the animating. So select this first letter, let's add the trim path animation. So click on this add and add this trim path and go to the around 2 seconds, expand this trim path at the end keyframe and go to the beginning and make this value 0%. It will animate like this. Go to the end of this keyframe and select all of these anchors and handle and press T, add the opacity keyframe and go to the before this and make this value 0%. Select all of these anchor points. Move all of this keyframe and align it with this E keyframe. So I'm moving all of this layer to the right side little bit. Expand this E letter, expand this E and this one E as well and add the path keyframe and expand this, add this path as well. So now we will add the animation, but before that select all of these 2 keyframes and move at the 3.5 seconds. Okay. Now go to the 3 seconds again and select this path and disable all of this layer for now. Select this pen tool and move your each handles like this. Take your time and move all of this path carefully. Now select the second path and select this pen tool. Now let's move this path as well. So your logo path will animate like this. Now go to the end of this keyframe and enable all of this anchor and handles and press P to add the position keyframe. Go to the starting of this keyframe and lock this outline and move this handle and joint to their location. Select these handles and anchor and move this as well to their location. I think it looks good now. Now we will add this path stretching animation on these handles. Select the handle and go to the end of this keyframe and select this one, expand this handle, expand this content, expand the shape layer, expand this path. Add the path keyframe and go to the starting of this keyframe and select this pen tool and make the smaller handle size like this and move the position and do the same with this. Select the handle and go to the end of this keyframe. Add this path keyframe and go to the starting of this and select this pen tool again and let's move this one here. Make the size smaller and move the handle in the box. If you play this animation, then you will see this. It's like it's stretching. And do the same with this one as well. Now everything is perfect. It's like an entire logo is stretching. Now do the same animation with other letters and make sure all keyframe locations should be same. So right now it's 3.60 frames. Jump into the O composition and go to the around 3.60 frames. Now select the O outline layer and disable the fill and enable the stroke and stroke with size 1 pixel. Let's change the color of this, so make this yellow. Go to the E composition and unlock all of these handles and Ctrl C to copy these handles and anchor and paste it here and press U and delete all of these keyframe. Now do the same path animation with the other letters. So now we have all of this letter animation. So go to the main composition and drag and drop all of this composition. So first import E and disable all of this outline. This is my second. I'm going to move this one here. And this is my third. Let's move this one after this. So I'm going to duplicate this O letter because I have this letter 2 times. So Ctrl to duplicate and move it up and move this to the right side after this logo. Now right click, new, add this null object, name it logo controller and select all of this logo composition and make parent to this logo controller. And go after this path animation at the 3.5 seconds and select this null object logo controller layer and press S to add the scale keyframe. And press P to add the position keyframe and press U to see this keyframe. And go to the around 4.5 seconds and press S to decrease the scale size of these logos. And move this logo in the center. Now adjust the logo alignment. So it should animate like this. Now we will add the moving animation on these 3 letters. So I'm going to select all of these 3 letters and go to the end of this keyframe and press P to add the position keyframe and go to the beginning keyframes and move all of these 3 letters to the right side out of the composition. Now let's add the outline grid. So select this pen tool and create the outline and name this outline grid. And let's move this here and Ctrl to duplicate, move this one here. Duplicate these outlines to create like this grid. Select all of this grid line and press T and decrease the opacity. So let's make it 37% and make all of this grid line parent to this logo controller. Click on this add this trim path. At the end of these keyframes, add this end keyframe and go to the starting of this keyframe and make this start value 0%. Now press U to see these keyframes, but this is too early. This is coming too early, so I'm going to move this keyframe like this to the right side, and this one also like this. Now create the vertical outline grid. Control D to duplicate this outline. Press R, rotate it 90 degrees, and let's delete this trim path and move this outline near to the E letter. And Control to duplicate this and move it near to the O, and we have to create a lot of lines and make in the kerning positions. Okay, so it should look like this. Now go to the end of this keyframe and select all of these vertical lines and press P to add the position keyframe, and go to the starting keyframe and move all of this line to the right side out of the composition like this. Now select all of these keyframes and hold Ctrl Alt and move your keyframes like this. If you feel this outline grid is overlapping, then select all of this grid, press T and decrease the opacity value. So let's make this 25%. Now I want OVO letter should be animate after this 5.5 seconds. So go to the around 5.23 frames. So jump into the O composition and select everything, all layers. Press U to see these keyframes. Select all of this layer and move it to the right side at the 5.23 frames. Now jump into the V composition and select everything. Press U to see these keyframes. Keyframes time location should be same. It's 523 frames. Now go to the main composition. Now we have to fill these letters. Now select everything, right click, pre-compose it and name it logo construction. Enable all of these logo layers. Now we have to move all of this letter into this outline letters. So first lock this logo construction pre-composition and select this E, press S, increase the scale size of this. 110 is good. Select all of them, press S, make the size 110 and move all of this to their location. So after this animation, we have to fill this logo. So go to the around 6.5 seconds and select all of these logo letters and click on this add and add this offset path and expand this offset path, make the amount value 0. Expand this one, make amount value 0 and 0 here as well. Add the amount keyframe at the 6.5 second after these path animations. Select all of them, press U to see these keyframes. Move all of this keyframe to the 7 seconds and go to the around 6.5 seconds and decrease the amount value and your logo will be disappear. Do the same process with all of these letters. Select this logo construction pre-composition and press T and go to the end of these keyframes and add the opacity keyframe and go to the around 7.5 seconds and make this value 0%. Now right click new, add this null object and select all of these layers and make parent to this null object and go to the end of this keyframe, press S, add the scale keyframe, press P to add the position keyframe and press U to see these keyframes. Now go to the few seconds forward, around 8.5 seconds and decrease the scale size of this. Select this scale keyframe, F9 to easy them, go to the graph editor and select this right side handle and make your graph like this. Alright, so now let's add the background. So I'm going to select this rectangle, so double press Q to select this rectangle and double click onto it and disable the stroke and enable the fill. So I'm going to use this dark blue color and hit OK and move it under all of these layers and rename it background. And go to the end of this keyframe and press T to add the opacity keyframe and go to the starting of this keyframe and make this opacity value 0%. So this animation is complete. I hope you like this tutorial. If you like it, then hit the thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Also, if you want me to create any tutorial on any specific topic, then you can ask me in the comments. So meet you in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye.